Yeah, boy.
Boy.
Yo, my guy, what up?
Charlie, it has happened.
Yeah, that's why we are here.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to that the show.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Mamuluko Banke.
Charlie.
Yo, Charlie, what's up?
It has happened. Boy.
Come on.
When you go on the socials,
Yeah.
UPSA.
Okay.
UPSA.
Yeah, University of Professional Studies.
University
of Professional Studies Association. So in school I'm going UPSA, so
school.
Go UCC. The UPSA no. Whenever I post there, more full minute. Yeah, now we will have a UPSA or Tamala now.
So UPSA is in the trends when you go on the socials, ladies and gentlemen.
What's I was here on?
Charlie, you say you go every school, then get code of conduct.
Okay, yeah.
Where if they matriculate you as student, then they give you handbook, the student handbook. Everything you for do as students, everything you for know, the rules and regulations, everything is enshrined in the student handbook. Yeah. So the student handbook there, it will be your right hand man.
Yeah.
If you legally for campus, if you know say this thing you for do, this thing you know for do. Charlie Mike no webu. This thing you for do, this you know for not do. So on today's episode, this morning we woke up and then realized that on UPSA campus, some students are being dragged out of lecture halls or they are being sacked out of lecture halls for indecent dressing.
Oh, okay.
One video that has surfaced on the internet that has actually, generated a lot of conversations is what we are about to show you. But let's look at the video, then we'll continue. So boy, that is the video.
Charlie.
Apparently, it is alleged that this particular lady being dragged, she's being dragged by a task force. Okay. So these task force are on the campus to ensure that students adhere to proper dressing, students adhere to code of conduct, students adhere to the things that have been enshrined in the student handbook, of which one of them is decent dressing.
Yeah. But I don't ask that decent dressing, like, is it only when they are going for lectures or around the campus? Like, as far as you are on the campus, you are supposed to be decent. So and then when you are going for lectures,
so long as you remain a student of UPSA, you understand, one of the basic things you are supposed to like uphold is proper and decent dressing.
Yeah, but Charlie, most of these campuses, especially the ladies, they put our lectures into massa uncompromising situational. How? You understand? Yeah, because sometimes these students are the ones that they entice these lectures for them to sleep with them.
How do they entice them?
You don't dress well when you come to campus. I've been at a lecture where a girl, the dress that she was wearing, you can see her brassiere, like very transparent dress. You can see her brassiere. Some of them too, they wear dress without brassiere, so you can see their nipples and everything. And some of them too, the skirts that they wear, very short. You see their Marvel and Marvel, won't from that's a no professor Marvel. Can you say? Marvel, yeah. So you can see their Marvel. You understand? You see their tummy and the Marvel, and you see the pubic hairs, the ones that grows closer to the Marvel. You understand? Yeah, all of these things, Charlie. But I don't know much about the story. Yeah. So but I feel like it is something good that the universities must ensure. But I think that if you do it with force, you understand, the youth these days.
So when you go on the socials, the conversations now is that the school, looking at the school's name, University of Professional Studies. Yeah. You understand? Now, every university is meant to nurture students into professionals, regardless of whether you are doing fashion whatsoever, there is that aspect of your life that you have to appear decent, regardless of whatsoever discipline you are studying. You understand? And so when you go on the socials like X and all that, some of them are saying that what the school is doing is right. Others are also of the view that it is not right.
Okay.
You can equally sack a student from the lecture hall, but you the lecturer, you are in charge at that particular time frame that the lectures is going on. So you can order the student that because of how you are dressed, I don't want you in my class. You better go change and come back. Or if you can't change, just leave.
Yeah. And I feel like if Senka, most of these universities, Senka, why ones them Fenchima, most of the students will be sacked due to indecent dress. You understand? As far as the lectures can prove to you that all of these things is in the code of ethics, like the book that they've given you, if they are able to prove to you that it is in it, okay, and then it means that they have a case.
So that brings me to this particular part of our conversation. Now, in their students' handbook, there is a session. This one is, I don't know, 1.32.9. It talks about handling dress code violations.
Okay.
The procedures for enforcing of this policy are outlined below. A student alleged to be improperly dressed or having an inappropriate outfit shall be reported to the head of department.
Okay.
If in the lecture hall, the lecturer may ask the student to leave the lecture hall and or take note of the incident as witnessed by other members of the class. Later report it to the head of department. So in this case, the incident we are reacting to, it is alleged that the lecturer asked them all to leave, those who were improperly dressed. So it means that when you pick the code of conduct of UPSA or when you pick the handbook under the handling of violation of dress code, the lecturer was right to let the students leave. However, the task force being involved in this is where people are drawing the line. Because why drag people, especially the video that we just watched, why drag somebody like that just for improper dressing? If the lecturer has asked the person to leave, fine. Or if the lecturer has had the person and the person is refusing, even that one, people are saying that, and of course I agree, you don't drag them.
Right to drag the person.
You don't drag them. In as much as the person has gained admission into the school, the person has the right to attend every lecture. You see, when you go on the socials, like I said earlier, the disagreement on the fact that they implemented task force to drag students out forcefully is where I actually agree with a lot of people online. I don't know your take on that.
Yeah, but was it only one lecturer who was doing that?
Well, apparently they were all going for the same lecture. Apparently, they were all going for the same lecture.
Yeah. But I've never seen something like that before. Like ever since I started university, like my university days, I never saw something like that.
You see, people are saying that the school has rules and regulations.
Yeah, fine. The school has rules and regulations, but
you are privy to it.
I don't know if that task force thing is part of, like, the students. They know that maybe if you refuse to go out from a lecture, like from an indecent dressing, like you are going to be dragged out. I don't know if that is part of the code of conduct in the school.
For that, I am not sure.
If that one is part,
for that I am not sure, because what is in here, there is nothing like, you being forcefully dragged out or anything. But I'm sure, you see, students are students. Somebody would even come to your lecture knowing very well that you know when you go to some lectures, their class, apart from what is in the school's code of conduct, they have their own rules for their own lecture. When it is their turn to enter the class, this is what you are supposed to do, and failure to do that, you'll be sacked from the class. But it feels like at this point, this is what I want to put on like, I want to make them the ground rules for my lecture. It feels like that is what is going to help him achieve whatever targets he wants to achieve when it comes to class.
Some lectures find proper ways of, or I don't want to
use this strategy.
They find other ways of solving such problems. They will tell you that if you don't dress well, like, I'm going to deduct marks from your whatever. Do you understand? And you know that university marks and deduct marks in your ear, it means you go get receipts. So you the buy what at the
top,
that one will even compel you to dress well.
Exactly.
For the lecture. So I feel like, there were better ways that the lecture could have used to solve that problem than dragging the people out. Because if you use force to drag them out without taking any other means, they know that, oh Charlie, this lecture there we come where we know dress well. He's just going to drag us out. But NKBA, you deduct marks from them. That one, they know that, Charlie, we are coming to complete school. We are moving to another level. If we don't pass this course, how can we move on? You understand? So that one, they will be compared to dress well, like whatever the lecturer wants, they will do it for him. But if you just come there, you do it force, like with force and all that, I feel like inconsistency.
Okay, so me just like I still stand by the submission that for the task force side, I don't agree. So to date, or let me just say so now, UPSA is still trending number 1 on OR.
Oh, okay.
On OR.
Yeah.
Now I want us to go through some of the comments, some of the posts that people are putting across, and then see what others actually think of this particular incident on the UPSA campus, University of Professional Studies, Accra. So this one is coming from Bino Success.
Everywhere he did it.
I don't know why people are crying over sacking of some students at UPSA. It's their school and their rules. If you can't follow, don't go. It be simple.
Yeah, it be true. You understand? You know that when you were entering the school, they gave you code of conduct or code of ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of these students, Charlie, code of ethics, as a master, school, I don't even know what is there.
But you were never at the
receiving side of indecent dressing, and it come from the side of the ladies. So, like in being indecent dressing.
It's not always the ladies, but
mostly,
majority.
Mostly the ladies. Maybe being in Pearson's be now soon up on us too. Now be a rasta level be now. Then a rasta pastor you are supposed to be allowed to go to school.
And this one says that this one is coming from Charlie. UPSA is a university, not an SHS. Since when do grown adults need dress code task force? Students pay tuition to learn, not to be policed over outfits. This archaic nonsense must stop.
No, this guy is talking out of ignorance. You understand?
How?
Yeah, if you don't know anything, don't just say don't just comment. You don't know. He doesn't know. Probably, maybe he has not been to a university before. Like he has not been to school before, because you know that every school has a code of conduct or code of ethics. So don't say that this is an archaic way of like people just go to school to learn. You don't go to school to be dragged out and all sort of whatever due to indecent dressing. Those people who are doing accounting and who are doing those banking courses, you know that their lectures, you can't just go with any kind of dress. You know, right? This physician assistant, this one away a pharmacy, doctors now. You can, or from doctors, be optometrists, different types. You understand? So you cannot even those who are doing education, education from Pune. Dressing, there are some flexibilities. You want to wear fashion. No, you know, Obi a fashion is into men second from indecent dressing. You understand? So this guy should not talk out of ignorance. You have not been to the school. You've not been to university before. So Charlie.
So this is what Don Holy is also saying. So no Achimota school headmistress do to the Rasta boy, and then later we saw the end result. The white man will always leave us behind because of such nonsense. Most I'm sure you wanted to say most of these lecturers have lived and schooled abroad and yet still behave like cavemen and women.
One okay, no, our kabuchida.
No, but you see on this particular submission,
you cannot come and compare.
There are exceptional cases. You see the Rasta guy's situation. It's you cannot compare it to this particular incident.
Yeah, that's
you cannot
what I'm
compare.
Saying.
Something that has been
no. So I'm saying that you cannot compare other cultures to our culture. Chalobian and the culture. You cannot go to Saudi Arabia and say this nonsense there. You understand?
Yeah, that one fine.
Into university, I don't know, wasn't university. If you cannot comply or to these rules and regulations, I just leave the school. Like what Bino Success said.
Yeah, that one.
If you cannot comply, but Charlie, it boss my mind say such people then they give such comments. You understand?
No, so you see, like we sit or we live in a society where we sometimes forget that this part of our world or every part of the world is shaped by cultures and rules and regulations. Laws are laws. There are exceptional cases. Like even when you go to the courtroom, it is not everything that the judge or the lawyer picks. There are certain things you use common sense. There are exceptional cases, but you cannot say that because some Rasta guy was sacked from Achimota or was not allowed into Achimota, and eventually
so they should allow
you
university people to
all these students exposing themselves. So what are you actually nurturing out of them? They are coming out as professionals. So if they start like this, you employ somebody who will be exposing him or herself in your workplace, piercing here and there. Some other people's culture is different from what we embrace. So you just have to know this.
Charlie, what you want to know? You go.
Charlie,
wanted to do need far from flat there. Charlie.
The one to cry. That's what he's saying, that after reading through the UPSA 2018 student handbook, specifically 1.29 dress code and 1.32.9 handling dress code value, I see that per video shared, the process was not followed through. It is in the university utmost interest to call their disciplinary. Fine. So I'm sure it's still about the task force. For the task force, we all don't agree. But then, if rules are rules and it's being complied, sacking them is not a big deal. But for the task force dragging students here and there, that one day, we all don't condone it.
And America, they be like, there some rules be in the penalties, so it be a refusal, like for whatever, like going out from the lecture hall, you'll be dragged out by the task force. Like maybe they can state it attached to that rule. You understand? That's why I'm asking if like the Amazon or one man I don't know. Because if you are lecture students in the on pay, like some of the students, they will desist, they will not go out. You understand? So
but let's look at this last two comments. I'll read this one first. I see people praising the goofy lecturer for embarrassing the girl. I admit she went against the rules, but is that the best solution? Mind you, she's not a kid and might even be paying her own school fees. And some of you are here defending this bullshit. Yes, shaking my head. I pity the hair.
But you see, boy, one thing, like, I wish that these students, I don't know the level that they are right now. See, maybe you go and desist this thing, and they will sack you. Maybe probably you've gotten to level 300 or level 400. Boy, if they sack you right now, Charlie, you're not going to start from level 100 somewhere at a different school. All the stress and everything that you've been through. So why is it that you cannot comply to this rules and regulation?
I particularly like this comment, the previous comment I read and this one. The reason is, this one is saying, giving excuses that the girl might be the one paying her own school fees, blah, blah, blah. That is fine. But you see, when certain things happen and then the rules and regulations or the laws are being broken, there are two things they look at. Did you follow the due process? Did you follow? So did you follow like what has been put there as the rules and regulation? You see, until something happens, even if this thing had not happened, I'm sure most of the students don't even know this is in their handbook. Yet at matriculation, you were given handbooks.
But however, I think that if they look into the matter, they should also look at how the lecturer and the task force, like how
they
were trying to solve the issue.
If that was the best
how
way,
they were
definitely not the best way.
If it is part of the rules that refusal to
exactly
go
my
out,
point.
You should be dragged out. If it is inside, then it's cool. But if they inside, say like refusal to go out from the lecture or like you are going to be dragged out. If they inside, then it means that like they should also look. Ask the lecturer the reason why he did that or the task force and all that.
Beneflex says so. And then this very last comment, this one is a troll. This is what he's saying. You wear this African wear with sandals on Tuesday, they claim it be decency. I show video now, but not drag again now.
So not drag.
You rather they drag somebody. The time we do school, if when I hair grow, way headmaster know they like, he the Barbary. If she wear shadow way, they be you. Buy some, give Jimmy no doso. Our Ghana.
No.
But I want to know be necessary.
The way they are attacking this thing, Charlie, maybe some way.
Charlie, the trolling there. Wherever there is a serious issue,
I know that the youth then go support the students in the BAP. There's no way like they are going to support the lecture or something. But Charlie, rules and regulations, they are whatever that you do, there are rules and regulations.
When was the last time you followed rules and regulations?
But I don't follow rules and regulations like that. But Mushamui, Atasa.
We are talking about following due.
Some uncle baby, so what's your rules and regulations? You know, freedom, boy, Charlie.
On
the streets, you know, I don't. No rules and regulations. Munko be ma what's rules and regulations. Into the be a man you understand? Because I share moon 2 minutes zero. Yeah, and yeah, you understand. But that time I'm Pibiana, that time I'm Pibiana, you understand?
So,
yeah,
Charlie. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what is trending, and I'm sure by the time we sleep and wake up again, UPSA will still be in the trends. And you know, anytime UPSA is in the trends, it is banger upon banger upon banger. You know, me at the talk. The evidence are there, the receipts are there. You can pull it and show it to you guys. The name is MC Money. I did this with.
Yeah, my name is Benny Flex.
We are out.
Yeah, boy.